Field Notes from Inside the Build, Episode 4. This week did not feel like we moved forward. I know that feeling is an emotional one. Feelings are not data, but they still matter because they shape how you experience the work. From a practical perspective, we did not sign a single new customer this week. We also did not release the feature currently in development. On the surface, it would be easy to see this as a stalled week, but that interpretation does not fully hold. My outreach was limited this week. I was out and about much more than usual, which reduced the time available for calls and follow-ups. Still, most of that time was spent intentionally building relationships, not avoiding the work. That distinction matters. A significant portion of the week was taken up by testing. Real testing. The kind that forces you to confront edge cases and uncomfortable truths about how the product actually behaves in practice. Because of that, I was not able to meet with my sales coach this week. There was simply too much to validate from a product perspective. It felt like forward momentum slowed everywhere at once. And yet, we learned a lot. Enough to know what needs to change. Enough to know what not to rush. Enough to try again next week with more clarity. There were also some difficult moments. I heard back from a prospect in the pipeline who decided not to move forward. They mentioned they might revisit the discussion in the spring. That is part of this phase. Doors rarely slam shut. They stay half open, uncertain. You learn to sit with that ambiguity without letting it erode confidence. There were also meaningful bright spots. Early in the week, I received an invitation to interview with a well-known incubator that I applied to about a month ago. That message carried weight. The pedigree of the incubator matters. Being considered at all feels like external validation that the work is being taken seriously. I am excited, but also aware that preparation will be critical. This is not something to improvise. That same week, I met with a contact who works within a government organization that supports funding and founder resources. That meeting was a genuine turning point. He listened carefully and shared a significant amount of practical information. Funding pathways, support programs, and resources that could meaningfully expand what is possible over the next phase of this journey. He also shared the contact of a local entrepreneur who has built a legal tech company here in the city. That alone widened the map of what might be possible. Wednesday continued the theme of relationship building. I worked downtown and attended a networking coffee event. While there, I gave an impromptu pitch about what we are building and why. It was informal, unpolished, honest. That pitch led to a very promising lead and a few new followers on our LinkedIn page. Small signals, but real ones. That same day, I met with a marketing consultant to work through our marketing funnel. The conversation was practical and immediately useful. No theory, just clear guidance on what to focus on and what to sequence first. I have already implemented some of that advice and plan to roll out more in the coming weeks. Later that day, by chance, I ran into the local legal tech entrepreneur whose contact had been shared earlier in the week. This time, the interaction felt different. I did not compare notes or trade stories. I mostly listened. His company is much larger now, even though he is no longer directly involved. Hearing his perspective, shaped by distance and experience, offered quiet clarity. It was context, not instruction. That moment stayed with me. Then on Thursday, another unexpected message came in. A request to be featured on the website and social media channels of our local entrepreneurship hub. Again, not something I was actively chasing, but another signal that relationship-based work is beginning to compound. This week did not produce the outcomes that are easiest to measure. No new customers, no feature release, but it was dense with relationship building. And I am beginning to believe that this may be where momentum comes from at this stage. not just from pushing harder on outreach, but from investing time in the ecosystem around the product. Conversations, trust, context. This may need to become a larger part of the focus if adoption is going to lift. The journey continues, not always forward in a straight line, but still very much in motion.